Hey guys, this is Vinny, also known as 8 Figure Vision. I'm here today as a part of the Infinite Insights group, here to share with you today's book of the day. And this one is in particular for those of you in my industry, in the network marketing industry. Guys, um, not a lot of people know about this. Not a lot of people actually really know about, the work and the magic and the power of what John Milton Fogg did when he wrote this book. Guys, you have to, if you're in network marketing, I know we talk about a lot of great books. We're going to talk about the GoPro book soon enough as well. I read that book. I just got to put the review out there. Your first year network marketing. That's a classic, of course. The thing is about this book is that it's a fable, right? However, it's probably, even though it's a fable, um, this book is so real. I'm just gonna tell you, this book is so real. Um, that you're gonna want to read it again. You're gonna want to read it again. I've read this book uh, as a physical book, but I've also read it as an audio book, and wow. I mean, I'll tell you, as an audio book, the narration is phenomenal. Just look it up on YouTube. I would suggest you purchase the audio book. Obviously, support the author, but that way you also have ownership and you can grow your library too, right? So, one of the things, this book, physically, I read this book sometimes before I go to sleep, when I'm really focused in on my business. And what I'll tell you is that this book, even though it's about network marketing, it really shows you the profound, intimate, like solid reason why network marketing is such a life-changing and such an enormously, amazingly uh, grand way to create this legacy and create this sort of life of abundance and prosperity. But they show you through the lives of these people in this tale. And the interesting thing is the book starts off, chapter one, the end, right? Which is really cool, the way that they started that book. And it really starts with a guy who, starts with the story that he met the greatest networker in the world, right? And there's a lot of secrets in here that I cannot really delve into. I want you guys to actually get into this book and really read it from beginning to end. You're going to get so into this book, you might not even want to stop. I'm telling you. And I'd be curious, those of you who actually, who go through this book, type your comments, right? Type your comments right in the comments below, right? What were your thoughts? What were your feelings? How did this book actually make you feel? Because this book is a lot about the feeling. And one of the things that really stuck out with me is, how the tale develops. Because, so the guy meets the greatest network in the world, right? It's kind of a celebrity almost in the beginning when he first meets him, right? And those of you in the industry, that. Think of a top earner, right? When the top earner's in town, it's like, oh my God, right? Like the presses, right? Hold the presses, like we got to get prepared. Everyone gets all giddy because it's someone who's made a lot of money, and it's someone who has a lot of success, who's made it, right? And everyone wants to be like that guy. So in this industry, it's really important to meet a top earner, especially someone who's the greatest networker in the world, right? So he goes through and, just throughout time, he actually just happens to meet him, right? He happens to spend time with him. And, there's a lot of things, a lot of the way that he tells the tale, there's a lot of things that are not said, that are more acted on or observed, that actually make all of the lessons learned, that actually transform this guy who was like a nobody in the industry, right, to someone tremendously impactful, right? And how did that happen? It was because he spent a good amount of time with the greatest network in the world. He learned the life that he lived. And that just sort of through osmosis started happening in his own life, right? And come to find out that the greatest network in the world, right, has a lot of secrets of his own, you know. And then the greatest network in the world, right, when you get to meet his family, you find out some more secrets, right? You find out some more, you know, how did he get to the situation where he is today, right? You find out how the lives of the people who work with him, the people who live with him, how or her, how they actually became, how they became successful, how they sort of got into where they're at today, right? But they challenge each other. They challenge each other, right? And one of the main things that I saw in here is that the greatest network in the world is not someone who talks all the time. In fact, what you'll find in this book is that he asks questions. He asks the most crucial questions you can ever imagine. So the greatest networker in the world asks the guy, the narrator, all of these things throughout the entire story. They get him to think. They get him to find the answer. And a lot of those questions he asks him, you will also start to ask yourself. And you will start to also kind of with the intent, you will learn with the intent to teach that many of these questions, right, are what truly made him become the greatest networker in the world, right? Or made her the greatest networker in the world. So, guys, this book is, I almost feel bad telling you anything else. You know, they had a great conversation about, you know, disbelief and, you know, habits of disbelief. You get to hear his, you know, you get to hear what happens, you know, you get to hear what happens when he returns. He returns to the profession after the amount of time that they had spent learning from one another, right? Learning with the family, right? Learning the type of habits and the type of rituals that he's had every day, and the type of, you know, the consistent things that he had to do over, you know, day after day to get to where the person can become the greatest network in the world. And then you come to find out that, you know, you get to hear the guy's story at the end. There's a task that he had. There was a sort of homework or sort of like mission that he was set out to accomplish at the end of this book in one of the last 2 chapters. So what you'll find in this book is that when he goes out and actually accomplishes this, right, the emotion and the impact of his words, right, of the story that he told, right? You know how they say facts tell, stories sell? Well, the story that he told, right, and the way his message was relayed out to the audience that was there, right, in the moment when he was in the middle of implementing that action, was totally emotional. Like, you might even cry when you read this book. I'll tell you that for sure. So I can't really tell you anything. So you gotta just read the book. Read this book. It will change the way you think about network marketing, and hopefully it inspires you as well. You know, hopefully it inspires you. Let's do this in the comments below. What I'd like you guys to do is also